The holographic projection flickered to life across 17,000 Imperial ships, each vessel a monument to the Zhothic Empire's 3-millennium dominance over the galaxy's eastern spiral arm. On every bridge, every command deck, every strategic operations center, the same image materialized: a human woman in a dark uniform, her iron-gray hair pulled back severely, her eyes carrying the weight of extinction and the fire of resurrection. General Emma Castellanos stood before the quantum-encrypted transmission array, her posture rigid with military precision. Behind her, the ruins of Geneva smoldered, a city of 8 million reduced to radioactive glass by the Empire's opening salvo. The attack had come without warning, without negotiation, without mercy. "I am General Emma Castellanos of the United Earth Defense Coalition," she began, her voice eerily calm. 72 hours ago, your empire fired upon Earth. You obliterated Geneva. You killed everyone I loved. You believed us to be primitives, a species barely capable of faster-than-light travel, unworthy of consideration. Aboard the Imperial flagship Dominion of Eternal Night, Supreme Commander Thexgol watched with 4 of his 6 eyes, the other 2 reviewing tactical data. The humans had managed to penetrate Imperial encryption, impressive for a species that had only achieved rudimentary warp capability 3 decades prior. But impressive meant nothing. The Empire had crushed 200 civilizations. Humanity would be 201. "You made a calculation," Emma continued. "You assessed our technological level, our military capabilities, our industrial output. Your artificial intelligence matrices concluded that Earth posed 0 threat to Imperial interests. You were correct in your assessment." Thexgol's mandibles clicked in satisfaction. At least the creature understood reality. "You were correct," Emma repeated, "about who we were, but you failed to calculate who we would become." Behind Emma, a second figure stepped into frame. Dr. James Chen, director of Earth's black-budget quantum research division, looked nothing like a warrior. His rumpled jacket and tired eyes spoke of a man who lived in laboratories, not battlefields. But Thexgol noticed something that made his combat-hardened instincts flare. The human scientist carried no fear. "When your missiles struck," James said, his voice soft but clear, "you didn't just kill 8 million people. You provided us with something we've been missing for 30 years of research: motivation without ethical constraints." He gestured, and the transmission split. Beside Emma and James, technical schematics materialized, equations that made Thexgol's chief science officer lurch forward in his acceleration couch. "Impossible," the science officer whispered in the clicking Imperial tongue. "Those are Kowalski-Chen singularity matrices. They're purely theoretical. The energy requirements alone for 3 decades, James continued. "We've known the mathematical possibility of weaponizing quantum entanglement at stellar scales. The theory was sound. But the ethics—" He paused, something dark crossing his features. "The ethics prevented us from testing. You see, the weapon requires a sacrifice. A human consciousness, fully integrated with a quantum processing core, capable of maintaining coherence across light-years of spacetime." Emma's expression didn't change, but Thexgol saw her hand briefly clench. "We had volunteers," she said quietly. "So many volunteers." "The principle is elegant," James explained, pulling up another schematic. "Your ships use quantum communication for instantaneous coordination. Across your fleet, naturally, it's the only way to maintain tactical coherence at interstellar distances. But quantum entanglement is a two-way street, and if one understands the mathematics deeply enough, The schematic rotated, showing a cascade pattern that branched like lightning. "We can turn your entire communications network into a resonance weapon. Every quantum relay on every one of your 17,000 ships will simultaneously experience a cascading singularity collapse. The energy release will be ... significant." Thexgol's secondary heart seized. He understood now. He understood perfectly. "You're bluffing," he transmitted back, his voice losing its confidence. "No species would sacrifice their own." "You struck Earth first," Emma interrupted, her voice rising for the first time. "You came to our home. You murdered our children while they slept. You gave us no chance to surrender, no opportunity for negotiation. You treated us as vermin to be exterminated." She stepped closer to the camera, and Thexgol saw something in her eyes that his species had never evolved to recognize: the human capacity for vindictive sacrifice. Lieutenant Sarah Mitchell was 19 years old. She volunteered to become the consciousness core of the weapon. Her mother died in Geneva. She spent her last 8 hours having her neural patterns encoded into a quantum matrix, knowing she would cease to exist as an individual. knowing she would become something else, a ghost in your machines. Waiting, James tapped a control surface. We're transmitting the activation codes now. Not to you, to her. She's already there, Supreme Commander, woven into every quantum relay in your fleet. She's been there since your second wave arrived in system. We let you get close. We needed you all together. This is genocide, Dexical transmitted, his composure fracturing. The Council of Civilized Species will. The Council stood by while you glassed Geneva, Emma said flatly. They sent thoughts and prayers. We're sending mathematics and physics. You have two choices. Withdraw every ship from Earth's system immediately. Deactivate your communications network and drift home on sublight engines, ... Or we activate Lieutenant Mitchell. You'll die too. The energy cascade will. Yes, Emma said simply. Everyone in this solar system will die. Earth, Mars, the colonies, all of it. 7 billion humans, and 17,000 Imperial ships. We've done the math, Commander. That's a favorable exchange rate. You have 10 minutes to decide. The transmission held for a moment longer. Emma and James standing like sentinels before the ruins of human civilization. Before it cut out. In the silence that followed, Bexker looked at his tactical display. 17,000 ships. 3 million Imperial souls. The pride of the Empire. He gave the order to withdraw, as the Imperial fleet began its emergency quantum network shutdown, preparing for a humiliating months-long sublight retreat. Emma Castellanos collapsed into a chair in the bunker beneath what had once been Geneva. James sat beside her, both of them shaking. There is no weapon, James said quietly. The mathematics are impossible. Kowalski-Chern matrices can't maintain coherence at those scales. I know, Emma replied, but they don't. They won't for months, maybe years. She looked up at the reinforced ceiling toward the stars where the Imperial fleet was retreating. Maybe we bought enough time to build something real. Or maybe, James said, we just taught the galaxy that humans are insane enough to burn their own world if you push them. Emma smiled grimly. Good, let them wonder. Let them all wonder what else we're willing to do. Above them, the stars witnessed the Empire's first retreat in 3,000 years, and humanity's first victory.